Hey, it's Sunday, January 19th, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're watching the Season 5 episode, Jughead. I got a little bit of a sickness going on. This is a Desmond-centric episode. It also features a lot of Daniel's storyline. Let's start with what happens on the island in 1954. All of what happens within one flash, so they're always in 1954. Daniel and Miles and Charlotte make it to the creek after the flaming arrow attack. Two other Sox are with them, and they set off a landmine and blow up. Some people dressed in military garb come up and hold them at gunpoint and take them captive. Back with Sawyer, Juliet, and Locke, they have taken captive two others who start to speak to each other in Latin, and Juliet understands them and talks to them, and Sawyer asks how she knows Latin, and she says it's because all the others speak Latin. It's the language of the enlightened. Back with Miles and Charlotte and Dan, they are brought to the others' camp, where they've got tents set up and stuff, and take them to Richard Alpert, who asks them if they're there to get their bomb. They're being held captive in a tent, and Richard comes in and asks them if they, how they're gonna get rid of the bomb, and Dan says, I can neutralize it, whatever, and Richard asks him if he's there to, how does he know he's not there on a suicide mission, and Dan says it's because he's in love with Charlotte and he wouldn't do anything to hurt her. Ellie takes Dan to the bomb, where he realizes that it's very unstable and very unsafe. Locke decides he's going to go talk to Richard, and Sawyer and Juliet see that Dan's being taken away at gunpoint, so they go after Dan. Dan tells Ellie to bury the bomb, and that it'll be fine that way, and she says, you said it's unstable, how do you know that? And he says, well, for 50 years from now, the island is still here. And then Sawyer and Juliet come up and she says, are these your friends from the future too? And Sawyer says, you told her? Locke goes to the others' camp and says, I am your leader, you have to tell me how to get off the island. He gives Richard the compass. He asks Richard what year it is. Richard says it's 1954, and he says, well, 2 years from now, in 1956, I'm born in Tustin, California. You go there and meet me. Now we know from the Season 4 episode Cabin Fever about why Richard was going to see Locke at such a young age, because Locke told him to. And the flash happens, and Charlotte collapses with a nosebleed. Back in 2007, well, a little bit before 2007, probably, Desmond is running through a port, some sort of Asian country, asking for something in a foreign language. We don't know what it is. It turns out that it's a doctor, because once they get back to the boat, we find out that Penny is in labor because they're having a baby. How cute! Then back in 2007, Des and his son are sitting up on the dock of the boat, and Des is telling him about out there's an island that your dad never thought that he'd be going back to. It's called Great Britain. A little fake out there. Des promises Penny that he is just going up into England for one day. He's not going to talk to, Widmore is not going to find them. He's not going back to the island. He would never go back to the island. He gets to Oxford, and there's no record of Daniel Faraday. Some guy, though, a janitor or something, finds Desmond when he goes into the attic secret lab room that Dan had, and tells him about Teresa. So then Desmond goes to Teresa's house, and her sister is there, and she takes him to Teresa, who's laying in a bed, and she says she's away right now. And then her consciousness has obviously been leaving her body, kind of like we saw in The Constant. And then she also mentions that if it weren't for Charles Widmore, she wouldn't know what to do, because he is helping them financially take care of Teresa because he funded all of Dan's research, which sets off some alarms in Desmond's head. So Des goes to Charles Widmore and asks where Dan's mother is. Charles gives him the address only after saying, do this, but then keep Penny out of danger. Don't do anything that's going to put Penny in danger. So then Desmond goes back to the boat at the end of the day. He says that that Dan's mom died 2 years ago. Penny calls him on his lie. He tells her that she's in Los Angeles, and Penny says, well then I guess we're all going to Los Angeles, because you won't ever give this up. She does, and then we find out that their kid's name is Charlie. They named him after Charlie on the island. I hope they didn't name him after her father. He's a bad, bad man. Leslie, you're doing The Little Prince tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Bye.
We're gonna need to watch that again.